morning. Buddy. Good morning, MP.
What's happening?
Let's stop this music.
You know how to turn off?
Oh,
Want me to do it? You want to do it?
you do it. Oh, there it is.
Good stuff.
Sorry, didn't scroll down far enough.
It does. You know what? I'm looking at it now. It's a little bit different because now it gives you a volume for sounds and everything. So
Yeah, can't keep up with these StreamYard changes. Good morning, buddy.
what's happening?
It is Sunday. Yesterday.
Sultan?
Okay. I'm sorry. I have nothing to add to this. I don't know if you're going to call this a feud. I don't know if you're
Why?
going to call
You're
this
apologizing? Why are you apologizing right
drama.
off the bat?
No, take away my apology. Not apologizing.
Hmm.
I don't know if you call it a feud, a fight, drama, but whatever happened yesterday inside of the VFriends community, I don't know.
Oh,
But
goodness.
is
Oh,
that-
goodness.
Was it something? Is it a thing? Is it a thing that I have no idea? I don't know. I feel like I was just eating popcorn, reading our entire text chat yesterday. I don't know.
It is.
I don't even know if I'm bringing it up and shouldn't be.
I think all the above. You definitely don't need to. You don't have to apologize about it. Nothing there. No. There's always conversations. There's always conversations within the community, and like even talking about it right now is just like it's more than it needed to be. I know from my standpoint, I went on to somebody's community chat and hearing a lot about like what they normally do. There's usually an error around what they talk about and kind of the direction that they take conversations most of the time. And so I had stepped in there as a sharing my voice from a community standpoint and a value standpoint of what the VFriends ecosystem can kind of provide. And I think there's a miscommunication between the value where someone's talking about dollar value. Is there dollar value? Where is the value? Why is there no value? Why is there value? All those kind of things there. And I was just coming in sharing my point of view of, well, there's value outside of just the dollar. And then I was being given this energy back, which was well, can't you feel empathetic for someone who doesn't have, for someone who maybe has lost money on something? It's like, well, are you thinking I'm saying it's not? And then that's where like this big like loss of understanding was. And so for me, it was really just off-putting. And it was like, well, I will no longer then, state my opinion from the point of view of anything outside of a dollar value. And that's just kind of how I felt. And so, yeah, so it was just like I just removed myself from that conversation. I put myself on mute and kind of like step down from the conversation. I was like, this isn't going anywhere. And so I think that there's still this like ridiculous kind of like thought around like what it was, where it's going. And then you start getting these messages of like, there's war. These people hate each other. I'm like, there was no war on my end. I don't even know what you're talking about. Right. And so it was just like a weird situation altogether.
I initially had a little bit of the fear of FOMO. I was like, what's going on? Should I be checking in? Do I need to be watching something? But I don't know. I enjoy there's that community. I don't feel like I'm connected to it except for very tangentially. But it's nice that it brings all these people together.
It does. I think the conversation's good. I think there's some people that, see the direction of certain things, and they want certain things. They have the expectations of certain things. They have expectations from years ago versus expectation from like 1 year ago. And I think that's what the beauty is that there's so many different, I don't even know the best word for this, but there's like different entry points for where people kind of came into this. Like even with like VDads or like My Daily Dads here, it's like, you know, this was all sort of very early on. So if someone came in and was like, well, why do you have any connection whatsoever with like VeeFriends if they haven't done X, Y, or Z? It's like, well, that's not really why this is here, right? So it's all kind of like it's just like an interesting thing. So I think it was all I think I was coming in to that conversation previously with things just being a little bit more like, I was like, hey, here's my opinion. And then I think someone was like, well, that doesn't match up with this. It still doesn't. And I was like, wait, hold on. I'm not trying to tell you you're wrong. And that's, I think, how it was taken. And then, but then there was one thing that was like said, which I don't know. I still definitely believe it. I said the word, here it is, agenda. I said the word agenda. And this kid blew up and he's like, oh, I don't have an agenda. I was like, I mean, come on. Like what I don't know. Cause he's in London. So there was like this, I was like, is there a disconnect in like definition of what agenda is? I could say leaning. Cause I was like, yeah, there's an agenda. You're like leaning in one direction over another. He's like, I don't have an agenda. I was like, well, you're definitely not a neutral space. Like, let's be honest. I don't know. So, and I'll hold that. No one has to agree with me. That's just like every discussion I've ever listened in on. And he was just upset because I was like, he was like, well, we've had like 1,000 discussions. And I was like, I've listened to 7. And he's like, well, then there's so I was like, whatever. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no war.
I don't mean
it was all taken way out of context. Well, not out of context. I think it was just taken like, it was like more than it needed to be.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean to add fuel to the fire, but
you did. You did.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
No, it's all
Sorry.
good.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
All right. Well, anyway, yeah, I thought I listened to the episode later in the day. I passed out hard from 2 drinks on Friday night. We went out with a couple, traded kids for a sleepover. I woke up Dom time, and I wandered around for like 30 minutes, had 2 breakfast sandwiches, and then passed back out until 9:30. So yeah, and then my brain was not in a talking moment at all yesterday, but I'm glad you guys all got on. I was hoping Blaze would jump in today. Haven't seen him. Good morning, everybody in chat. Chat has started to fly.
Yeah,
MP's got a sweet soundtrack going this morning with Wicked. He was
doing Wicked.
You brought up Lauren. Lauren went to go preview Wicked. Crying out of the way.
That's what Lauren said. Lauren, what was the reason for seeing Wicked before the girls? She wanted to cry by herself.
Yeah. Well, so Kristen took the girls to watch it. I do want to see it. I wasn't able to join them, but in the words of Junie said that mom was ugly crying in the theater. So I'm prepared to shed some tears for this. Like I teared up a little bit last time when we watched it.
Okay.
The movie, I enjoyed your guys' conversation yesterday. You guys talked about movies that made you cry. I don't know if you said it. Yours said was Ruby. What's up, Sloaney?
No. I've watched parts of Rudy, and Lauren's like, yeah, the movie that makes you cry all the time is Rudy, right, Ryan? I was like, I never really watched Rudy. She just chose like the most masculine, I guess not the most masculine, the movie, the cliche men's movie that people like believe men cry at all the time.
Shawshank Redemption.
No. Shawshank. I don't know if I would cry at Shawshank Redemption. Hold on. I have to, what is, it's more of a kid's movie. I know it is.
Spy Kids.
Oh, well, Lauren just reminded me that there is like, have you ever seen those like, is it Pixar shorts, Disney shorts? There was one called Float.
Oh, yeah, the balloon one. Yeah.
Float. Yeah. That was the one I was like, oh man, that hit me so hard.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
And so that was definitely one that like got, but yeah, so shorts, because I mean it is a condensed emotional moment. It's supposed to be. That's kind of the way it is. There is a movie too. I love this movie. It's called Leap. I'm thinking about it right now. You used to watch Leap a lot, right?
We saw Leap. I know
Yeah.
Leap. That was
But
good.
then Harvey Weinstein got in trouble and they changed all the voices. I don't know how that all happened, and so it wasn't the same. It just didn't hit as hard.
Yeah, I was very heartened yesterday. Junie came back from a sleepover, and she watched The Sandlot by herself. And I
Oh, yeah?
watched when Hercules found all the baseballs
Oh yeah.
yards so they could play baseball forever.
Mm-hmm.
That always got me. And I was like standing there watching, and like I was standing above her, like being the dad. I was like, this movie came out when I was your age. And then as I was watching it, I started to like get a little bit choked up. I was like, I used to play baseball. Hey, good morning, Sloan. Can Sloan hear me right now?
She can't hear you, but the mic's here. You want to say hi to Uncle Jason?
Hi, Uncle Jason.
Good morning, Sloan. I miss you. I wish we were together for Thanksgiving.
Uncle Jason says he's so impressed how I'm so much stronger than he is, and he's afraid to come see you here.
Why?
Sloan, can you please play your father's abs like a laundry board on an old timey string band, please?
Bum.
I've been.
No, she can't hear you right now.
Oh,
Oh, because I have headphones in. There was a lot going on, so I had changed it.
yeah.
Well,
Ryan, come up Thanksgiving. I'm assuming that you're heading to Long Island. Today we're talking about.
No, I think we have to correct this. I think Paul in the chat can correct that.
What's that? Long Island? You're not going to Long Island today?
Not Long Island or ever.
Staten Island.
Yeah, there is a big difference, but I understand why maybe someone would not.
Oh,
How's that? No, you're okay.
I can still hear you. I can always hear you.
That's all right. No worries.
You can't always hear us.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can always hear you.
All right, all good. I was trying to switch the speaker outside. It doesn't matter. So yeah, no, Lauren, we always do Staten Island for, and this is all kind of play into, I think, the topic for today, right? But we always go to Staten Island, which is like, if you think of anyone thinking of Manhattan, there's Manhattan, and then if you go just straight out east, more or less, you'll kind of hit like, there's like Brooklyn, and there's like Queens, and then there's Long Island. And Long Island is actually considered, or rather, Queens is considered part of Long Island. And recently, I think there was like something with like Brooklyn is considered part of Long Island, which like I completely don't agree with. But then like below south, if you go south, that's where Staten Island is. And Staten Island is actually closer to like New Jersey than it actually is like New York, in my opinion. But
yeah, despite growing up in New Jersey and like being in New York many times, like my knowledge of the layout of the neighborhoods, as well as like the different boroughs and the different rivers, like it's still very, I still feel like I have like a European's idea of what the East Coast looks like as far as the New York area goes. Like I always forget, is Delaware below us or above us? I always forget that.
See, I love Delaware. Delaware beaches are great.
Yeah, that's what I've never been, and I'm missing.
Yeah, no, they're great. It is south of us. But anyway, the people on Long Island and Staten Island are very similar in mindset, if I can say that. Paul, you can give me a thumbs up on that. I don't know. Paul lives in Staten Island. Actually, Lauren used to live in Staten Island, but Lauren forgets everything about Staten Island. But Paul, you can let us know. Yeah. So like, I think if we think about things just like politically and stuff like that, like the political map, a lot of Long Island and Staten Island are the same. And then it kind of like merges a little bit different, or not merges, but it kind of changes as you get into like Brooklyn and Queens and then Manhattan. And so I think that's why a lot of people can kind of like get them a little bit confused. But it does make Thanksgiving a lot different.
Yeah. So it sounds like from like your descriptions and mom's descriptions and dad's descriptions, it seems like you guys have like a classic Thanksgiving where a house is packed and there's tons of personalities,
What's up, Keith?
spicy conversations. I always remember your story of bringing a Nerf gun to Thanksgiving, and
Oh man,
ends up bringing politics up in conversation. You just shoot them from across the table. I think that's a great Thanksgiving tradition.
I did at the time. I think I've thought about that. I've kind of sat back and I was like, man, that looks like it does look really bad. I don't know. Why do you think it's good?
Well, I think it's a humorous way to handle eventual and inevitable conversations around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Good morning, K-Safe. How's it going? Paul, we have like chat's going good this morning on a Sunday. It's very surprising. Yeah, we got Paul, we got MP, we got Card, we got Leslie, we got a bunch of people. Sultan HPS. I don't know Sultan. Do you know Sultan?
Yes. Sultan, you are, correct me if I'm wrong, Sultan, you are in, don't hate me for this. Hold on. I'm looking at his picture because I'm pretty sure, Sultan, Sultan, am I getting you confused with someone that's out in, and this is going to sound so bad because it's, I guess it's based on the name. But are you over in India? Because I feel like I sent you cards in the past. That's why I'm thinking that that's the case, but I could be completely wrong. And I want to now go look up those names again. Anyway, but the Nerf gun thing, as I look this up, I was just thinking about it because like basically the Nerf gun came in, I think when like, and you know, not because I don't want to take it in this direction, but it's like that was when that's when like Trump was like first kind of like brought in. I think that was the year he was first in presidency. And so it was like let's just like shut down political conversation, right? But at the same time, it's like what we're bringing
taboo.
Yeah, but then I think like bringing a Nerf gun to be like, hey, at the Thanksgiving table, if you bring up something like we don't like, we're gonna shoot you. It's like, well, hold on a second. I don't know if this is the best thing, but at the time it was it was supposed to be humorous. But you know, I don't think that it. I just think back now, I'm like that was definitely silly. So.
I enjoyed it. I think it was good. But yeah, I do enjoy that you get that experience. I always do enjoy that Lauren does keep her family close and, you know, close location wise. We are the exact opposite. We do a Friendsgiving. We've been with the same 2 families, sometimes 3 families for the past few years since the girls were like in first grade, or at least Kira was in first grade. And then sometimes we have other people jump in. I think mom's staying this year. So
yeah, it's in Dubai. Okay, got
it. I might imagine not being close to family, and correct me if I'm wrong. I would imagine, even though we love our families, sometimes there might be a little bit of stress when these family events pop up. Like we really just have the stress. Like we're hosting. Most of our stress comes from just getting things together, trying to give a good experience to people. I would imagine that there's a little bit of that stress when family gets together. I'm saying this because I'm kind of forgetting what it's like to do big parties with family.
I thought you were trying to be more selective with your words, but it sounds like you were being more introspective in terms of trying to remember what to say. Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, Jason, this question for you too, but I'm kind of curious about the chat as well. What are let's say 3. Obviously politics could be there, we can make them 1, but maybe we can think outside of politics because it's so easy to kind of pull out. But like, what are the topics that tend to be the most difficult at a Thanksgiving table, or come up, or whatever else? Can you think back to any in particular?
So I think here's where I think I remember some stress coming is the Thanksgiving prep. Like I remember growing up, for the most part, mom did all the cooking, right? It's like woke up, she made a quiche, and then immediately jumped into like making all the food.
Hmm.
And I remember, I don't know, maybe middle school, where I started becoming a little bit aware of like, mom's kind of doing everything, and then we eat for half an hour, then we're done,
Mm.
you know? And um, I I think this has happened a few times over the years, where in different parts of Thanksgiving specifically, maybe even sometimes Christmas, but it's like, mom did like 99% of the work. Maybe we jumped in and like set the table and everything, and then we ate. I don't remember any notable conversations. Like we definitely went around and said what we're thankful for and all that. I don't remember what I was thankful for in middle school, but that's a very classic Thanksgiving layout, I think. And then I remember like getting into high school. I think we were better at it. It's all very fuzzy, and maybe I'm just making it up, but I do feel like we started becoming a little bit more cognizant of trying to help out a little bit more, like prepping things or serving some of the fixins.
Mhm.
Am I making this up? What are your thoughts? Like, what are your recollections on this?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I have holidays had always kind of, it's always been, there's this mishmash of like great memories, great feelings, stress, like a lot of things together. So, but it's all there, which then kind of makes me think, like I was recently going down a rabbit hole of like how millennials these days are, and I'm considering myself a millennial. I don't know where exactly those cutoffs are, but like our age right now, how we're kind of doing.
You're right back.
No,
Dog
good.
jump defense.
Nope. Yeah. You'd think that maybe they do something about the fence at this point, but there is at 5. There is this thought that I think of my kids and how there's this like millennial kind of change where like we're trying to parent our kids at the same time we're trying to like reparent ourselves. And like it's no like, blame on anything or anyone like that, but I think it's more of the fact of like in a different world with like, I think that there were what was it, lock key kids, like kids that were kind of like left a little bit more to their own devices in some kind of ways. And like now, like I think that there's a lot of like they're like used to be the helicopter parent, but now I think that a lot of people are kind of more or less in that helicopter role. And so we're like watching our kids that much more. We got the this like weird digital world happening. And so when I think of like holidays now, I'm like, it is wildly different. And so, I think about like what my kids are seeing and what they're feeling. And is it the same as I had? I don't know. I'm really grateful that my kids do have a chance to kind of go to their grandparents' house. They're preparing it. I think it feels like really solid, a foundation. It's like, that is my, them thinking like that is where we go. Like Thanksgiving is at grandma and grandpa's house. Like there's no question of anything at all. I think that the feeling that they get from that is going to be togetherness, warmth, whatever it can be. They're at the table for like 10 minutes and then they leave anyway because it's just like their kids, they're running around. That's just where they are. So I don't know beyond that. But I hope that they end up kind of taking away the idea of like, just being able to come together. I think as we get older, there's so many less opportunities for families to see each other. And so Lauren's family does do a good job of this. I think, sometimes I can get frustrated because I'm like, it's just a lot. But yeah, you have to kind of have these moments to get together. So I think if anything, it's like, I don't care if anyone remembers about the food or the prep or the serving or anything like that. I think it's just that like togetherness, that moment of like, yep, that holiday means that we get together, we say hi, we see what's going on, we get to share stories, we get to share feelings, be close to each other that way. I think it's even more important in this like digital world because we get these like micro doses of each other. And at some point it's great because we feel like we're kind of always seeing each other. Like I feel like I'm seeing Jason so often, but at the same time, it can't or shouldn't, I think, replace being together in person. And I think at some point, I think this digital world will end up diluting things enough where almost people don't think it's necessary to get together in person to, hear the voice, right in front of them, be able to kind of give a hug, be in a space be in a space with silence, right? Because we're always talking, like whether it's content driven or not, like I think it's important for people to get together and be bored together instead of constantly trying to, buy something on like social shopping or come up with a topic and kind of keep like nailing, that point of view, whatever is going on. So I hear where Jason's going. He's like, what were your thoughts? And I'm like, well, yeah, my thoughts are more not really around like the prep or anything like that. It was more, I think, just that moment to kind of get together. So, yeah.
I agree. Well, as I walked into what you were talking about,
you heard 10% of what I said. You have no clue what you're agreeing to.
I'm assuming, and I'm usually correct. You're talking about the difference between like talking here and being in person. Is that that's kind of
No. I was I had taken the direction of kind of like being curious about like what my kids kind of curious about what their experience is. Oh, it's gone again. But curious about like what their experience is. And I was just kind of thinking like, I don't think that they think at all about like the prep or the, serving or whatever, because they're like at the table for 10 minutes and they end up leaving. So it's like, I don't even know if they even like think about food, to be honest. But I was saying that I think if I asked them, I probably could, but I would hope that they think, and I'm grateful for Lauren's family who kind of puts on Thanksgiving to like, it's like a moment of togetherness and to kind of share those feelings. And Lauren does a good job of being like, hey, we're here. Let's make sure that we're, talking and, even saying hello. Where's the hug? We're saying goodbye. Where's the hug? But I think the biggest thing was just, again, like making sure that the digital experience does not dilute the importance of what it means for us to kind of be together, because we can feel so together, like I think remotely sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree on the point with like, the happy birthday checks, the quick. Sorry, I have to keep like checking, see if dogs jump the fence. It's really annoying.
Man, that's like high anxiety.
It's not anxiety. They're actually really good. Like Freya comes back every time. Okay, where was I? Where were we?
I don't.
Thanksgiving. How many kids do you guys have with you when you guys do this?
We have
how big 4 is the table?
Well, it used to be very big, and I think as kids got older, I think it just became our kids. Sloan, tell Uncle Jason what you think about Thanksgiving.
I think of.
I'll go look for your pants. Good. You want to hold it?
Hi, Sloan. Can you hear me?
I think. Yes.
Yes.
I think of turkey, orange, and eating.
I also think of eating. I like that you guys have a really big Thanksgiving with family. We don't always get that chance. So what do you think? Do you like when you get together with everybody for those holidays?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have good thoughts about Thanksgiving when you think about Thanksgiving. Good. That makes me happy. And I really wish that we were talking in person right now, Sloan. This is good enough for now.
Okay.
Sloan, what's for breakfast today?
Bagels.
Favorite
Indeed.
bagel? What's your favorite bagel?
Plain bagel
With
toasted with butter.
toasted with butter. My girls also like plain bagels toasted with butter as well. What does your dad or mom, what are they the best at making for Thanksgiving?
I wouldn't say my parents make that much things for Thanksgiving. We usually go to my grandma's house and there's just food.
There's just food everywhere. You don't really have to
Just
bring
shows up.
anything.
What?
Just magically appears.
No,
Okay.
grandma makes it, but I don't think since we don't celebrate we celebrate it, but at grandma's house we don't make that much of the food here.
We don't make that much of the food here. You're right. We do. We'll make like one or two things, then bring it. Right. Yeah. So, but did you guys talk about this? What does Thanksgiving really like? What is it like when you think of Thanksgiving? What are like 3 words that like come to your mind?
I told him
Oh, sorry.
turkey, orange, and eating.
Oh, the color orange. Got it.
Yes.
All right. Got it. Nice. All right. You got to go.
Okay.
Bye, Sloan.
Bye. I can't find my.
Sloan's in run club, so she's going to run.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, her friends kind of put it together, something to do. But yeah, that's it. I love getting the kid's point of view. It's like orange. It's like, yeah, I love that. Okay, I didn't even think of that. Like that is like what she sees and feels.
Yeah. Sloan sounds like she has a very good experience with Thanksgiving. This is a question I have not asked my kids yet, but I'm definitely going to ask them today, especially now that we have family joining us. We do have Mom and Aunt Gail joining. Otherwise, it's always like friends and like two close families that we have. So, do I feel like I'm missing out? Like sometimes, I know at some point during Thanksgiving today, we will video call, and I usually catch you and Dad a few drinks in after eating. And there is a little part of me where I'm like, man, it would be nice if we were all together. But it just kind of costs a small fortune to get us all out there for literally anything.
Why do you get me all these?
Is there a lot of guilt you're sitting with?
No, it's not guilt.
There's something about what you just said that made me think that you were sitting in guilt with that, which is like, that is a horrible feeling to have when it comes to holiday. Like holidays, I think mean stress for a lot of people.
It's not guilt. It's
okay, good.
It's, because like I think we do a really good job of giving them a really great experience. But they also know that like we're not usually with grandparents. We're not usually with nephews and nieces. We're not usually with aunts and uncles. They're aware of that.
Yeah.
And despite loving everything about being where we're at, it's like, yeah, sometimes it would be nicer to have family closer. For sure.
Yeah.
And giving them that experience of being with people that we're related to, instead of like, as opposed to people that, that we've grown to call family.
Yeah. You usually have like other friends over too, or no?
Yeah.
Friendsgiving. Yeah.
Friendsgiving, for sure.
Like on the day of Thanksgiving?
On the day of Thanksgiving. So
okay, cool.
not regret, just wondering what the alternative might look like if we were to do that. So.
Yeah. And again, I like to turn to the chat and see anyone, like, what is it that you guys do to stay connected with family that is kind of far? Is it, I think MP was talking about like FaceTime calls and all that kind of stuff. Is there anything else that you do to try and remain connected? I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else that can be done?
No, I mean, Mom, I think Mom a few times in the past has sent cards for Thanksgiving. Whenever I get Thanksgiving cards, I'm always like, oh yeah, you could send cards for Thanksgiving too.
Yeah. Yeah. You can send cards anytime. It's kind of like that thing of like, people are like, when you're an adult, you can just go get a birthday cake. You can just go whenever you want. No one asks. So
Here's a question. Have you ever been, this is more growing up. This is more of like a when we were kids question. Did you ever experience Thanksgiving at somebody else's house?
when I was growing up, I don't think
Yeah.
so. Oh well, hold on. I mean, I would say I
Yeah.
did. I did spend a lot of time with one of my friends' families, and with that friend, shout out Brian. He and the Schultzes, but I would usually on, let's say, Thanksgiving, I would go to my friend's house, and I think walking in on a holiday, it's such a personal thing. There's smells, there's sights, there's sounds, there's other people you haven't seen before. It's like you're looking into the organs of a family. Like you are looking at the inside of like what they do. And then like you'll taste some of their food, and the stuffing tastes different and the turkey tastes different, and they do things just a little bit differently. I always thought I always loved understanding the different dynamics of the family. Jason, I was just saying that like with other families, I mentioned the Schultzes, like after at the end of Thanksgiving, I would go up to the Schultzes and I would say hi to them or something. But I was saying that like walking into another family's Thanksgiving is like looking at the innards of like what the family really is, because it's like you see how they cook, you see how they eat, you see how they clean, you see the other people in their family that maybe they've talked about, they haven't. Like there's so many things. It's like a weird dynamic. You're like, wow, I'm really looking at the inside of all this. Like you're looking at like the like the deeper regions of like, you know, everything that a family really is. Does that resonate with you? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
The one Thanksgiving that I went to that I remember, this is when I don't even know if she's listening, but Trish, if you're listening, I remember going to your Thanksgiving once with Aunt Gail. And the big difference that I noticed was what everything was served very neatly in responsible portions, to the point where like everything was finished at the end. You know, like instead of like mountains of casserole or mountains of mashed potatoes, you know, that like, you know, there were definitely going to be leftovers. Like most things were gone, and only one trash can was not even filled up all the way. Like,
What? There was no pushing down on the trash can?
No, there was no. It was like it was all like it was, everything was just like nice and neatly packaged.
That's not
And I was like,
Thanksgiving.
wow, when we do this, it's like we have like 2 trash cans full of trash.
How'd you guys plan all this? What do you?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Viva La Leslie. My daughter's birthday, Sloan, that was just here. She has a birthday on the 5th. So, and then we also have a nephew whose birthday is like right around right now. And so you know, it is always kind of this like celebration of kind of things too, which is interesting. But it's nice to have everybody together for that. But yeah, it's like, you know, I think different family. I wish I could look in and see different family dynamics. I always liked that. I always like seeing like, what does that family do versus this family versus my family versus like what are the feelings? I don't know. It's just I always love thinking about that. So
Yeah, I don't remember the age where I started being curious about that. I think you started seeing that and noticing those differences a lot sooner than I did.
Yeah, most likely. With if there's any other thing you want to bring up, I know that we're going long right now. I have the time today, but the thought of any argument or discussion, is there a way? Because I feel like I could be considered a lot more of a hothead than you are. I think you're very good at listening. You're very I think that you are more open to remaining neutral. I think remaining neutral, I think is you know, it's definitely a good thing. I think
choosing where I put my energy as far as like topics and discussions and arguments go. I would agree with that. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I think it's good that we have that difference.
Oh yeah, I wasn't saying it was bad. Did you think I was saying it was bad?
No.
I know that I love to speak, and I think a lot of my words and my thoughts and my opinions can be more barbed. And it's not as if I'm going in to attack something, but I think it's definitely something where I'm looking to kind of have like a deeper discussion. And so I think having these deeper thoughts around certain things, I think it kind of takes that. I think when things remain like way too neutral, I'm like, ugh, this is boring. I'm out.
I'm same way. Here's one thing I learned from you though, Ryan, through this, since you kind of started doing, podcasting and discussions and longer things. I definitely feel like I've gotten better at conducting discussions.
Oh, nice. How so? Like, what is it? Like, what do you mean?
So like I always enjoyed how you would open up. I remember I first started noticing it when you would have guests on your, I think it was on your Food is Fuel podcast, where you would, open up with like, we're visiting your house.
Oh yeah.
Getting together. What are you making for dinner? And I think that's a great connection to food because, you would hear about people who would make a meal that's more communal, that they have to build themselves, versus like serving like a full course meal. So like how that started showing up is like me and Dom, we would frequently talk about like the dads at the park issue, where it's like you run into a dad at the park that you never met before. What do you talk about besides the weather, your sports, or your job? And that was something where I started thinking about, well, what can we talk about? Like if I'm meeting somebody, or like we schedule a play date with a dad that maybe I haven't known, what do we talk about? So, I think, I don't know if this was from you, but like, I remember the first few times after that, I would start conversations with like, hey, how you sleeping these days?
Oh, love that question. That is the best question.
I think
the best. Yeah, it is me, because it's the best, because if you ask someone how they're sleeping, I think it's just personal enough to understand, how they conduct themselves, how they feel in the moment. And then like, it usually opens up the discussion anywhere else. I always love it. Right. Cause I think it also makes someone feel connected enough to be like, oh, they really care, like how I'm feeling. They really care about something about me, So I love that. I just love questions.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so my point was that I've gotten a lot better at asking guided questions for deeper conversations.
Nice.
Beyond like, hey, how you doing? Good and fine and good. Everything's good.
Stab me.
That's like,
do you know how many conversations I've just like, I Irish, or I just walked away from because they like brought up the weather? I was like, oh, we got here, I'm out. Don't small talk with me. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I just can't deal with
it. Even got to the point where I started getting a little self-conscious, because I feel like I started like getting really deep, really fast sometimes with people.
I know that feeling.
But I enjoyed it. And like, I made, a few good friends out of people who would otherwise have been acquaintances without that. There was something else.
But you know what you're really good at? And I think this can define like the success of like a Thanksgiving day. You're really good at, I think, staying in that deep conversation and like sitting in the silence and like listening and like, taking it all in. I'm like, I'm going to get deep quick, and then I'm going to leave you with your emotions. Cause I just wanted to hear what you had to think. Like, I don't want to resolve anything really. I just want to hear like where that came from. And I want to say, well, good luck with that. Like, I'm not saying that I want to, open up a wound and then like leave someone uncomfortable. But I love to understand where someone's coming from. But I also like to take that information and kind of like sit with it myself for like a bit. So that's, I think, why I like to leave it sometimes. And even like, Paul, with like Long Island and Staten Island, a lot of small talk happens. A lot of pleasantries go on. And I think that's my biggest like challenge.
That's the word. And even with friends, here's what I
But
think.
you're good with that, though.
Here's what I think. Well, here's what I think I've gotten. Well, it's specifically because of like talking in the morning with you and Dom. Like I credit all that to this. Is like being interested, not just being interesting. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm like super interesting. What I'm saying is being interested definitely is a skill. It's like a muscle to work on, is being interested in somebody and just shutting up and letting them talk. Like that's definitely a skill that I've had to learn, because not only do you learn about somebody, but they also, it's like when you give somebody the opportunity to talk to you where they can kind of open up, it's like that becomes like a memorable experience beyond just like somebody that you normally say hi to. Even in like the hustle and bustle of like morning drop-offs, if I get a few minutes to have like a decent 2-minute conversation with another parent that's waiting there, like I'd say that's a win. And that just kind of builds that familiarity over time. Specifically with Junie's friends' parents, like with Kira's, the two families that join us every year, they're Kira's friends, and it was like starting in preschool, we just it just rolled and developed. But then with Junie, like she was like kind of the COVID kid, where there weren't any play dates, the parks were very empty, and we really missed out on like those parent connections. And at the beginning of this year for 5th grade, there was like an open house where the parents came in and talked to the teacher. And I remember sitting there, I was like, I really don't know very many of these people at all, even though I've seen them every morning for the past 4 years. So, that's something that I've kind of tried to be mindful of, like, the few people that we have pleasantries with, like people how there's sometimes people where it's like, even just through like the way you guys say hi to each other, you're like, I bet we'd probably get along, is actually try to find those few minutes where you can grow that a little bit. That's been something that's been a practice, I'd say like the past year and a half, I guess, really ever since like we've been doing these morning talks, is like, how can I have conversations like I have with Dom and Ryan in the morning and get to know them?
Yeah, I think it's I always lean on the idea of just curiosity. Like you got to remain curious. And this was all before oh man, what's it called? What's the show called? Forgetting it now. It's okay. But yeah, I think just remaining curious. I do always tell myself, like, I'm like, I think I script things way too much in my head versus being able to allow the silence to be there. And again, that's what I think you're good at. But I definitely always think that there is, and this can be a good thing for like the dinner table too. There is always the what, the when, the why, the who, and the how to ask out of anything. Someone brings something up, you can find a question within there. And so I think remaining curious, I think that it is that some people just have it innately. I think you can practice it for sure. And that's like, I kind of run through those things, even like when I'm bored, because I do think that there is a bit of adulting that has to happen. You can't just get frustrated Irish on every conversation when pleasantries come up. But I will, that is my strategy, whether it's right or wrong, or it's actually effective or not. But I think it also is really important when it comes up with like an argument as well. And so I think that when, and I'm trying to do this because I know that like probably the thing, and I think if he was here, he would say this too. My father-in-law and I probably have the most differing opinions, like politically, but like across the spectrum of everything politically.
Good morning, Dan.
And
I'm
so
just saying good morning, Dan here.
Yeah, I already did. So I beat you. But I feel like he's like a double talker sometimes. So I try and ask these questions and it like turns back on me. I'm like, wait, what just happened? Like you just said this and now you're here. Like, are we agreeing or are we not? he's like, he's ex NYPD. So I'm like, is this like a tactic? I was like, I don't know. Like, are we talking right now? What are we doing? Like, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm not drinking. I'm not going to drink at all right now. Cause if I drink, I'm going to yell at you.
I'm going to die on the sandhill. Here's something I think we both talked about this before. So
Keep talking. I can hear you.
One of the positives of like, being curious with people who you talk to, sometimes it's just easier to listen than it is to do all the talking. Like when I'm meeting somebody, it's like, do I want to share everything that I'm doing? Do I want to give my little, 15-second elevator talk to somebody to introduce them to everything that I'm doing? Or do I want them to remember that, hey, I got to open up to this person? How they boil eggs, Leslie. Yeah, that was a contentious episode we had that last Easter. 10 minutes. But
8 minutes.
I conceded 7 minutes was not the correct time for a nice soft boiled egg. Yes. Which is also delicious and gooey. But sometimes it's just like part of the reason why conversations end sometimes is just because you might get tired of talking. And I am much more engaged when I'm listening. So that's why I've picked up from Ryan how to ask questions. Like, what are good questions that get, how do we call them? Generative questions that lead into other questions that lead into a good connection point. It's also a good like middle-aged practice, I think, because I think there's a lot of people who
just call it middle-aged.
Like I'll see this on Facebook a lot, and sometimes on like on the Longmont subreddit sometimes is like, hey, where do adults hang out? It's like, I don't know. I don't really know where adults hang out, but I do know that like, starting to get to know the people that you're around with automatically is a lot easier than seeking out groups that you may or may not have things in common with.
Ooh, I love that. I love that you just said that, because I've seen that question come up all the time. And so when you just said that, I had this like I felt frustration. That was like my first thought. And I didn't know why, but I felt that. And I was like staying open to it. And I was like, okay, why am I frustrated? I think because a lot of people do go out searching for like their community or their environment to be given to them. But it's like, you have to go out and create it. Like, if you want that and you can't find it, then go create it, because someone else wants it too. Like, I think that we're all like so much more middle of the road than anything else. Like, I like to think like, oh, I had that feeling. It's so different. I'm like, nah, I'm pretty vanilla. Like everyone else kind of feels this way too. So then I'm like, well, if I'm feeling that way, then other people have to too. Like that, I find comfort in that. And so I think it's always good to kind of, you got to create. I think it's just like, I think it's that personal accountability. I don't spend enough time on Reddit. And I think if I did, I'd argue a lot.
I spend too much. I don't do anything on Reddit, but I spend way too much time on it, falling down pointless rabbit holes. We were hanging out with a couple on Friday, a couple that we had not really hung out with since Junie was in second grade, and a couple that's like very, very like us. It's like, me and Kristen, we were talking like the best couple friends that we have, probably like they're down in Florida. They moved down there in 2021. Jess and Aaron, if you guys are listening. We clicked. It was like one of those couples that we clicked immediately, and that doesn't always happen. Other ones, you have to build a little bit over time. And I'm like, we have great friends. There's also friends where it's like, could we spend an extended weekend in a different location with this? And there's some, but like, Jess and Aaron, we could probably spend a whole week together and we'd be relatively not bored or frustrated with each other. Also, all the girls are relatively the same age. What was I going with that?
What were the first things
yeah.
that you guys had talked about that you found that connection? I don't know if you know this about me. I had in undergrad, I had a teacher who taught most of the master's programs for one of my undergrad communication classes. So she made us come up with and then defend a thesis, which I thought was amazing. And so my thesis, it was more exploring the idea of how to get into the deepest conversation possible in the least amount of time. And now I guess it makes a lot of sense. I'm bringing it all together, but there was like, I was very curious about like what it was. And so there were a few things that people who got into a deeper conversation, because they had definitions of what that meant, but it was usually when you ask about somebody's parents was one of them. And so it was really interesting to kind of watch that happen. I love that, actually. Now thinking about it, I'm like, I should go back to that. But what was it with that couple that what was that fast connection really can you think back to it?
Yeah, it was definitely, especially with Jess. Jess is definitely like, we call each other Thunder Buddies because they're in Florida. They now have a boat, and me and her, we had to go across a bay to get a car to get the rest of the family, and we were both in a boat in a thunder squall. Is that even a thing? Did I just make that up?
If you say it confidently enough, it's a thing.
Thunder squall. That sounds awesome, by the way. It sounds like a band name. But we had to go through this rainstorm with like the piercing rain. So like we survived a lightning squall together. So, we're Thunder Buddies. But I would say that's like one of the very few times where it's like you just kind of like sense that person's aura or personality, and like it immediately clicks, which doesn't happen. I think if you have somebody like that in your life, then you are lucky. I feel very lucky and fortunate that happened.
Do your kids see you doing that?
Yeah, we're still in touch with them. Kira talks to her friend Jude every day, and they've seen each other, I think, once every year.
They moved.
Past 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
So awesome. It was also her birthday. I think it was her 13th birthday yesterday. Ooh. I have a new teenager too, and they're dealing with their girl, teenage girl things as well.
I think Brooklyn was just turned 13, right?
So back to like that conversation starter. One of the things that I always, one of the questions that I've asked that sometimes I feel like is odd to ask, but it just gets easier over time, is, hey, what are you into? What do you get into besides work? That's always like the reaction is, you're like, oh man. It's like people don't normally know what to say when
I'm gonna tell you why I hate that question.
It's like what are they like? What, like, hobbies, sports? What do you do that's not work and family? That's a tough one. It's also
why?
Because I don't always have the answer anyway.
You know why I don't like it? I think because it magnifies somebody's indecisions and
how they spend their time.
Yeah, I think for most people, you send them spiraling into, am I living up to my potential? Like, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, where's this conversation going? Because I know when someone asks me that, I'm like, quickly, I love my kids. It's like, well, I didn't ask that. I just wanted to know.
I love my job. So, it's the best job in the world. It's a parent.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's like, there's got to be something else.
But then how do you say it? I think that's the most important thing too. It's like, if I just say, well, I'm a parent, I think that ends up, I think some people are like, well, it sounds boring. Like, this is all perspective, right? You can be like, I spend a lot of my time with my kids because it's, I don't know, you give you reasons.
Because I have to. I have to keep them alive.
Yeah.
I always feel like that's the safe default, is
like
listing parent as your job or hobby.
Yeah, it's not enough. Or like I'll say something like
knocking it.
Yeah. Or like I'll say, oh, I just do this. It's like, what do you mean you just do that? Like if someone asks me, it's like I'll be like, kids working out in my job. It's like, oh, it's boring. Like I have nothing to follow up with.
Yeah.
So
So I do have to wind this down because I
Go for
have
it.
these dogs outside. But here's a question for everybody here, since we got a lot of people here today. This is great. Okay, what's a question that we could ask during Thanksgiving that has legs? I don't have the answer, but if you have one, you can drop it in the chat. What's something?
Oh.
What's something that we can get the conversation flowing after a few Bloody Marys, after a few, what are those orange drinks? Mimosas. What's a good mimosa question?
I don't know. Are you if you're asking me,
I'm not, I don't have a preloaded answer for this.
no, yeah, I don't either. I think my first feeling was like annoyed. No judgment on that. It's like, well, what's that one question? Because it's a lot, right? Now we have to like make it big. You can ask everyone how they're sleeping. How's everyone sleep right now around the table? I always love playing games. So I love the competition.
I have a number of games that we'll be playing.
Yeah, that's where my head went. I was like, I would rather play a game than, and then let that be the thing that kind of like highlights. It's like, oh, well, that person's got good energy right now, right? Because I think it lets them know. It's like, oh, I see what headspace they're in at the moment. I see who's going to interact what way. That's like my first thought. So bringing a different kind of game that's really easy to kind of get into really quick. Like you're not bringing a Monopoly, but I think like a quick
Risk.
like, you know,
who wants to start Risk at 8 o'clock at night?
Yeah, right. And so I think it definitely would be. I would take your question and change it, which is unfair, but I would rather bring I guess, hey, who wants to play a game? In fact, I'd be like, I'm playing a game. Who's joining? That's more like what it would be.
No, yeah, well, yeah, you have to lead with the enthusiasm.
What's LCR? Lork. Is it Lork? Okay, I don't think it's what I thought it was.
L, left, center, right. Left, center, right, I think is the game. Oh, another good one, super quick, is
Paul, what is that?
What was it? You have to name, so it's like a celebrity game. Like,
it is a
normal person. You have to say the name of a famous person, and then the next person has to say a name that starts with the last letter of that person's last name.
It's a good game. I like that game. You know who's horrible at that game? Me. And that's when it makes me feel like really anxious. Like I remember the Schultzes used to play this, but what they would do is they would be like, okay, you can name a movie or an actor or a quote from that movie.
That's okay.
And then you have to say something with that. And so like, have you ever been with a family that just like quotes movies like so easily, like left and right? And like, okay, your turn, Ryan. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just like don't want to play this game. So it makes me feel like I'm just not smart at all. So
sorry, I don't have time for pop culture.
Yeah, then the pretentious me comes out. So yeah.
All right. I gotta go. This was an hour and 4 minutes. Good talk, Ryan.
Long form's the new short form, buddy.
Yeah, true. Medium form. I guess this is medium form these days. All right, I gotta go. You all have an excellent Sunday. I'm planning on being on all week for the most part. It's a good way it's some good structure for my time off.
Yeah, and you know what? My pop culture knowledge is not trash, but my recall is trash. And then that's when I talk to myself negatively, and I'm like, you don't know anything. So anyway, Jason, you have a great day. I have the dentist tomorrow, but I can definitely be here. And then have a great day. Love you.
The outro music, you like the outro? I did it.
Oh, I can't hear you. Okay.
I don't know.
Love you.
Throw animation though. All right.
Okay.
Love you. Tell everybody say hi. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining in, listening today. Happy 24. Peace.